Wow. Well, I mean, I first of all, I don't like to think of it as like us and them, right? And just more of like an opportunity to collaborate on kind of new innovations where we can. But I think, like one thing that I do see that's like really incredible in the region is just like the level of resourcefulness. Being able to kind of really take very little and leverage it, turn it, like have impact off of it. Especially with technology. Other thing with resourcefulness is just like, so I talked to my talker about the power of the internet. And it's just like now that there's like access to information, this level of resourcefulness kind of in the communities of wanting to learn, find more, leverage kind of free information that's online. There's one story I didn't tell in my talk that I'm really personally excited about is this guy I met in Kenya named Alan Juma, and he lived in a village and he managed to get a cheap smartphone for like $50 less. Like it was like he saved up, his parents saved up for him. And he found a free online developer coding training course, and he took it and he taught himself how to code. And then today, now he has like a job at a great company in Nairobi. Like, I think, again, just going back to the internet, I think there's just so much potential. And one is just like unlocking access. Two, it's kind of creating new innovations on top of that. There's a lot happening in education right now. So for example, because public education systems in a lot of these countries don't work, right? And so there's a lot of effort being put into kind of how can we scale education through the internet. And so lots of different apps, like learning to read apps and things like that are kind of built specifically for that environment. There's also stuff happening around artificial intelligence, which is really exciting. Because it's, there's like quite a boom. I saw this in Nigeria and in Ghana around kind of youth like teaching themselves how to code on Python and so on, and thinking about how can we use artificial intelligence to solve problems like for farmers. So there's this one company that was founded in sub-Saharan Africa that basically tries to detect crop disease with artificial intelligence to basically help farmers understand if their crops are healthy or not. So it's a very cool thing that's happening off the back of the technology. Sub-Saharan Africa is also a very diverse continent. It's almost 50 different countries, and each country is very different and culturally different, and the level of development is different and so on. So it's hard to generalize, and I don't want to, because I don't think that's right. A lot of people talk about Africa as if it's one country, but it's not. It's lots of different countries that are so different. This level, like one thing that really impressed me in some places like Nigeria is just how aspirational people are. And like even people in extreme poverty are very aspirational and are motivated to kind of, help themselves get out of it. And so, there's like everyone's kind of trying to leverage technology to have their like side hustle, their side gig, start like a little side business, see what they can do, right? And so I think it's that level of aspiration, and then that leads to creativity, and then you're starting all sorts of businesses, and then you're leveraging the information to help you come up with all these new ideas. I mean, I see that kind of really at a much faster pace. Something that I try to think about is, we always talk about follow your dreams. But I think potentially another way to look at it is follow your fears. Think of the things that you're actually scared of and lean into those. Because like, what you're scared of is probably where you should go. And I think, this is probably like kind of the best way to kind of help you figure out how to break out of your comfort zone. So we have this effort at Google called the Next Billion Users. And basically what that is, recognizing that the internet is evolving very differently in different markets. And in emerging markets across the world, from sub-Saharan Africa to Southeast Asia to Latin America, there's people coming online and accessing the internet for the first time or there's people who still don't have access to the internet. So this whole effort is about how can we help unlock widespread access, because that provides the power of information to people. And then the second is how can we build better products that are more tailored to people who are using the internet for the first time and to their needs. We've been doing a lot around digital skills training. The developer story. So we have kind of coding classes that are free online, things like that. But also helping small businesses. So one thing that I'm working on is exactly that, is how can we help small businesses that are offline, that can't scale, how can we help them leverage their internet so that they can grow their businesses even further?